Hello and welcome back to the Shmuseum after yesterday's massive announcement on the Shmee150 channel, which I'm sure you guys have seen. If you haven't, make sure you go and check that one out and then come back here because it is the biggest announcement ever for the Shmee150 channel, and I cannot wait to see a Zenvo here in the Shmuseum alongside the other Shmeemobiles. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Over 1200 horsepower of twin supercharged V8. It's just going to be absolutely ridiculous. I cannot wait till that's here and we can get that out on the roads and start enjoying it. Now, on to this week here at the Shmuseum. Obviously, Tim is away, so it's just a few bits of maintenance this week whilst he is and getting bits cleared up, such as the Ford GT and the McLaren Senna, which, as you can see, are the only cars in here not under their covers, at least in this direction. And that's because they're still pretty grimy from when they were taken up for Tim's sister's wedding. So we're going to be getting those cleaned up, which is going to be a bit of a struggle because the forecast for today and tomorrow is rain. So at the moment it isn't raining, so I think we're going to pretty quickly crack on and get one of them outside and start getting it cleaned whilst we can before the rain comes down. Also this week, the Clio over here is parked next to the G-Wagon, which has been in daily use, so it's also filthy and grimy and probably needs a clean up, but well, neither me or Brad are quite that tall, so we may need to get some steps to help us out with that one. But the Clio, as I said, this is now overdue its annual MOT. Because we're not really using it until we've got the project more further along, we haven't really worried about it, but obviously this is something that needs to be done. If it isn't declared as SORN, which is letting the government know that it isn't being used and it is off the road, it does require an MOT. So we're going to be getting that one sorted this week, as well as, I'm sure you guys will remember from a few videos back, the guys at carspares.co.uk very kindly sent us out some brand new headlight units. So I think our resident mechanic here at the Shmuseum, Brad, is going to be trying to get those changed as well. So let's crack on and see what else happens. Now, in the last video, you would have seen the first of our two guest cars arriving to stay here at the Shmuseum for a little while, which was, of course, the Gunther Werks 993. And I still haven't got over this car and the engineering that's gone into it. And clearly from the comments, a lot of you guys are quite keen on seeing more of this as well. So we'll do a full walk around on this at some point in the near future. But we did say that the owner would be dropping off a second car to stay alongside it and keep it company whilst it's going to be here at the Shmuseum. And well, if you guys have a look that way, you will see we have a Ferrari 812 GTS here inside the Shmuseum. Finally, a V12 Ferrari returns to sit alongside the Shmeemobiles. Now, obviously, it's not Tim's, it's not something that we can get out and enjoy, but we certainly can enjoy looking at it whilst it's here. And well, the sound of this thing when it came in is absolutely ridiculous. We'll come back and talk a bit more about this later on. But for now, I think before the rain comes down, it's time to get one of these outside and get the jet wash out.
Now, just to show you guys how filthy these two cars are, if you have a look down here at the lower door sill on the Ford GT, there is mud and grime splattered all over it, and this goes all the way back. The Senna I don't think is as bad, but let's have a look around here. Again, a few bits of mud splattered around. Definitely both need a wash, so they'll be coming out. But I need Tom to obviously bring a key, and I don't know which one he's going to bring yet, so it's a bit of a surprise for me of which car we are going to clean first. But once Tom's got that, then we can get one started, have another cold start, and then get it outside. Speaking of Tom, you have a key.
You do, I do.
Are you hiding
You don't know which one.
Well, no.
Which one do you want to wash? Bearing in mind both of these are heavily aero-based cars, and let's be honest, both of them are a pain in the butt to wash.
Yeah, we know that.
Mostly drying. Mostly the washing process isn't so bad, it's the drying process.
But they both have areas where water likes to sit.
Yes, which is why it becomes quite a pain, because it's very difficult to get all of that water that pulls up out from those areas.
Which one would I like to do? I think the Senna is probably harder, so I would probably go for that first.
Well, then I think you're not going to be much of a fan of me because we've got the Senna.
Sweet, let's do it.
Sorry, mate.
Before we take the car out though, we obviously have to unplug the CTEC smart charger.
Indeed.
The usual thing, I think we're both used to that. That's the process now.
Yes, and I'm sure you guys are worried about the wire just there on the paint. It has PPF, it's okay.
And Topaz PPF is great.
It's the best of the best. So let's get this outside.
I better come to the back of the car.
Yes, yes, I need to get towards
you can jump in
the driver's seat.
We'll get a start up.
Let's get this done.
Now this is going to be a little strange because I've got a mic on so you can hear me, but Tom has a mic on too, so you can hear him as well.
Right, so I'm gonna be a while. Can you? Oh, of course you'll be able to hear me. I'm gonna be a while because as we park this in race mode, I need to take it out of race mode, which isn't the quickest process in the world. So I'm gonna hit the active button here now, and I don't know if you'll be able to see, you're now in race mode deactivation, which does look like it goes quite quickly initially, but it does take a while to get all the hydraulics back to where they should be. Well, we're now at 47%. So as you can see, we're holding at 48%, which it occasionally does every now and then. It'll get a percentage which it seems to like, and it sits there for a while. And then it will probably go really, really fast up to 100. Here we go, here we go. Okay, no, it's found another pause point, just whilst it's getting all of the electronics and the suspension back to where it should be. There we go, we're at 100%, we're out of race mode.
Cool. Well, I better run over here, and then Tom can pull the car out.
Now, of course, before we get the Senna outside the shutter door and into the wash bay, we need to get a couple of bits and pieces prepared, such as our Topaz Citrus pre-wash, which comes in these really large containers with these handy pumps to nice and easily get it into the bottles. We've got our Topaz snow foam down there, as well as all of the other products that we've had delivered to us. So we're just going to get these prepared and then get it outside.
Into the wash bay it goes then. I'll never go over how crazy this thing looks. It is a proper spaceship. I think that will do nicely there. Right by the drainage, which is perfect. Obviously we've got all the stuff outside now, all the Topaz products and our pressure washer, so we can get cracking on this. And we'll take you a bit more into the process, I think, today. Run through some of the products we use, when we use them, and the way we go about it. Here we go then, car is out. We've just sprayed some of the Topaz Citrus pre-wash over the key areas of the car where grime likes to get, so all the side sills, round the rear. A car with this much aero does collect a lot of grime, so obviously we just want to make sure we've got enough of the Citrus pre-wash on just to eat into any of the dirt on there. Currently, next step obviously will be snow foam, just to cover the whole car and pull off any extra dirt. Once that's rinsed off, we can start with the washing stages. One of the most satisfying bits then of washing a car is the snow foam. Seeing any colour car transform into a white car is always pretty cool. Starting with the roof, top down, same way you wash the car, top down always. The lower parts are normally the dirtiest parts. Just gonna let the snow foam dwell. You give it a couple of minutes, I mean sort of 5 minutes max is good, but when the sun comes out like it's just started doing, you don't want to leave it for too long, not allowing any product to dry on the surface of the car. But I think Tom is pretty much ready to rinse this off, so we'll give it another minute or so and then we can get all of the snow foam off. We mentioned inside that both of the cars, this and the 4GT, have these areas where the water likes to hold, and I'm sure you can see quite clearly where that is with the snow foam. I'm hoping you can hear me over the pressure washer, but this area just on the front splitter here, it just sort of dips in and water loves to sit there, so drying the car's a bit of a pain because the water still sits there, but washing it as well, you have to really make sure you get the water sprayed all along and out of these holes. So right now it's got a bit of a white moustache right at the bottom, but we're almost ready for the contact wash. Contact wash time then, like I said, we've got the 2 bucket method. So this is our wash bucket and the rinse one is just over by the shutter. That obviously is the wheel bucket. We've done these 2 wheels so far, but Tom is cracking on with the Topaz Luxury shampoo.
And the key thing to always remember, guys, is when you're washing a car, go in straight lines, none of this swirly. That is how you end up with
straight lines. I mean, yes, it has PPF, but it's the way to do it on any car. Well, this is looking so much better. We're obviously just rinsing off all of the shampoo now. If I come around the far side, this is looking so much better. You can see now where all the aero is. There's no mud, no grime. Looks 10 times better than it was, which is great. The drying process has begun then, and we have many towels from Topaz. I'm just going to come over to our car cleaning corner, which obviously needs some work. We need to set out some shelving or some cupboards, etc., to put all the products in. And we have obviously all the products from Topaz, quick detailer, wheel cleaner, etc. and tyre dressing. Maybe we can put some tyre dressing on it. But we have a box here with loads of towels. We've got some standard microfibers. We've got some plusher finishing cloths for, say, a quick detailer. We've got glass cleaning cloths, I should say, and we have obviously the drying towels. Now, Tom has one of the drying towels currently, and it is very plush, it's very large, and I think one of the softest towels I've ever felt. I mean, you guys can't feel it through the camera or through a screen.
Lovely.
And it is such a lovely cloth to use. But just coming around, it does a very, very good job of drying the car. We are pretty much there, just a few small sections to do. I mean, the windscreen is a little bit more, but that's obviously where we've opened the doors up. But we are almost there.
Now, whilst we're here with the McLaren Senna, just remember, guys, if you want your very own, you can now get one with the 1:64 scale model from Tarmac Works and MiniGT in the MSO cerulean blue with the navy accents, now available in the link down below. And this is the first of 6 models, so stay tuned for the others to come soon.
That's the Senna now put away, back on its charger. So I think we need to make a start on the Clio. So I think we're just going to pull it out a little bit, just to give us a bit more room to be able to get the bumper off and get the headlights out. Now, Tom, are you ready to move this?
No, but you are. Have fun.
I'm sure it can't be that bad.
Okay, so Brad's now got the keys to the mighty Clio. Remember, the car that started absolutely all of this. Without that, none of this would be possible. But
it's the best key in here, right?
it is, and I think it's time for a cold start.
Yeah, you come around the back, I'll jump in, and we need to get a cold start. How does this unlock? Is it? Oh,
Just
nice.
one button to lock and
one
unlock.
button to unlock and one button to lock. Cool. You come around the back if
Yep.
you can get anywhere near the exhaust.
We'll find out. I can't remember which side it's on, but let's see what we can do for you guys. And now it's time. Why would he do that? Now it's time to bring the Clio out, so we've got some space. We can get that front bumper off, get those old headlights on, and get the new ones from carspares.co.uk on there, and get this looking completely refreshed, at least in terms of that. We've pulled them out, we've got them off the shelves. Here are the new units, so I think if we take these over to the car, be a good time. Hopefully, I've not checked these in a while, but hopefully this one is here in a position I can very quickly get it out for you guys. And there we are, it's this one over here. So we come and, I mean,
That difference is insane.
it's crazy, right?
It's time to make a start then. We've got the toolbox out and I'm sat on one of the mechanic stools, and I guess I just need to figure out exactly which screws and bolts come out first.
Don't worry, no screws or bolts are needed. I know how to solve this.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good idea, Tom.
Yeah. No, honestly, just one of those, and we'll get that straight out.
Yeah, I'm not sure we want to make that
And then for the
much
new
of a
one, we'll
mess.
put the new one and we'll just tap it on home, job done.
Are you cleaning up the mess after?
I think we'll let Brad do it, guys. So guys, we have a progress update. I have dirty hands, but more importantly,
I've got dirty gloves.
yeah, Brad was smart enough to use gloves. I wasn't, because I wasn't meant to be jumping in, but it was a bit more...
I think this was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, it was a bit trickier than it should have been.
So I've taken the bumper off of my Abarth many times, and I mean, yeah, once you learn the process, you know how to do it, and it gets quite easy.
Even when the guys took the bumper off of the Yaris down at
Yes,
Laser, that
seemed
came
easy,
off
but
really easy.
Brand new car, not much rust. This thing was a pain. There's bolts that were rusted, there were clips that were just really hard to remove. But the main thing is, we finally got the bumper off, which means we can get to the 3 bolts for the headlights, get them off, and then obviously we can put the new ones in, and then I assume have another battle with this
Getting
to
this
get it
back on. Yes, in fairness, we have already got to the top bolt just here on the
Yeah,
headlights.
there's just 2 more. We've got 1 more down here and 1 more here, and then they should pop straight out.
However, with this should be the magical last bolt.
And you've done the top one, which is
Yeah,
good.
it's not seized, it's not rusted. It's coming out.
We need a dugga.
We
We
do.
need an dugga, yeah.
We do. That would make things far
That's right,
easier.
we'll do it by hand. Oh, this was probably out a long time ago. I was just still spinning it. However,
This should now come away.
Hey.
Hey!
obviously we've got some wires.
A couple of plugs to take off, and obviously we're going to have to change some bulbs and stuff over, right? But
that's the easy bit.
okay, well, let's crack on with that, and we will see you guys in a second when we're fitting the new one. Brad, we did a thing!
We've done a thing, Tom. We have a new headlight that works.
It does. Do you want to just go and...
Yeah, let me go and jump in.
You go and jump in, and we'll show the guys that we have managed to get this one done. I know it shouldn't be the biggest surprise that we've managed to succeed, but given how much of a trouble this was getting it off,
okay, so the guys can
feels
obviously hear
quite
me.
nice.
So we have left indicator. Good. We have side lights. Is that on?
Yeah.
Cool. And then we have main beam.
And full beam?
And we have full beam.
There we go, all working.
There we have it then. That is both headlights now bolted in. Indicators work, all of the headlights work, side lights, main beam, full beam. Everything is working as it should. Obviously, next will be to pop the bumper on.
No one cares about that. Well, they care, okay, they care, but...
Should care, it's the best car, isn't it?
It is, however, I think this is definitely up there in terms of the best car. We've teased you with it this whole video, so let's go and have a look at the 812. Now, as we said, this is going to be with us for a couple of months, really, but there is something which we haven't yet told you guys, and you may have guessed by looking at the wheels. Now, this is not a completely standard 812 GTS. This is indeed one that's been to Novitec, and part of that upgrade, well, it's at the back, it's the exhaust. So I think you guys should head round there and let's hear how ridiculously loud this thing is. Now there we go, we can actually close the valves with this little remote.
That's so much quieter.
I can hear myself think.
Wow.
That, on a cold start, as I'm sure you guys have just realised, well, it's the silliest thing in here.
It's got to be the loudest car in here.
I think we need to push Tim to something like this.
With a Novitec exhaust.
Yes. Now, back to the Clio. So coming from the madness that is the 812 GTS.
Back to this Clio.
I don't think you wanted to say Clio there, did you?
No, but what I would love to call it, I don't think we can say on YouTube.
We can't, so let's leave it at Clio.
I'm kind of not enjoying myself anymore.
It's not going back together quite as easy as it came apart.
And like, we definitely didn't use the hammer for anything.
See, it was a good job I brought the hammer over, wasn't it?
Actually did help just now with getting the outside back in.
Came in very useful.
We were having fun, and I don't know if we are anymore.
And there we have it. The Clio is complete, back together, and looking absolutely stunning. So I just want to say a huge thank you to the guys at carspares.co.uk once again for getting these new units sent out. They have transformed the look of the Clio. And Brad, well done, mate. I think you've done a cracking job. It took us a little bit longer than expected.
Yeah.
Just lastly though, before we do park this up and get all of that put away, I just want to point out that we now have even more to clean up, because obviously, as I'm sure you guys can appreciate, there was years and years of dirt hidden within the bumper, which has all come out in taking it apart. So I think we're going to need to get the Hoover out. Now, we are pressing well on into the evening here at the Shmuseum. We finally got things a bit more tidied up, and Brad's actually now left for the day. He's gone off to football training, and we have a guest, which is Sam from Supercars of Kent.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad, how are you?
Yeah, good. I'm not going to lie. I'm absolutely... Is the word starstruck?
I mean, quite possibly, yeah.
It's ridiculous here. I'm not going to lie. It's crazy.
Yeah, the
Absolutely
first time
crazy.
you walk in, it's pretty... wow.
Yeah, it's intense. Like the colours of the car, especially the lineup over there.
Yes.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It is. All we're missing now is the GT Black Series in yellow to complete the rainbow.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you're a bit early for that one, but we'll get you back at some point for that.
Yeah,
So
I'll appreciate that.
we're going to take some photos tonight.
We are. So, as it's now dark, some photographers do this thing called light painting, where you basically take it to a dark location and you paint as such. You light up the car with lighting. Now, of course, I'm not exactly professional. I've got a rough idea what I'm doing. But of course, we're going to take a couple of cars out and we'll show you a little bit of what I do.
I think he's being a little bit humble. His photos are pretty damn good. So we're going to take some cars out. What are we taking? Choice is yours.
So, ideally, the GT8. One of the GT8, one of the most iconic cars of the Shmuseum.
I think we can do that, especially, I'm never going to turn down an opportunity to take that for a drive. But without further ado, I think it's time for us to flip a coin and see which one we're going to take out first, and we'll jump to a cold start.
Awesome.
So we have made it out to the middle of nowhere, as you can see, and you can just about see the GT8 there, thanks to the collapsed sun that Sam seems to have brought with him.
It's not bad, is it?
It's not. It reminds me a lot, actually, of the laser lamp that we put on the front of the GR Yaris. Just bigger.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? Because obviously it's pitch black, and if I was to try and take a photo of that now on my phone, I'd just get a black screen. So
yeah,
what are we doing?
So light painting basically creates a portable studio, if that makes sense. So with the light, if you can have a look at the actual bodywork itself, you can move it around and it shows off different contours and stuff. So you're really able to control what you can do with the lighting, and it shows off all sorts of different angles. So the trick is you take multiple shots of different parts of the car, and then in Photoshop, you basically stack them all together.
Okay, so we end up layering multiple photos together with various light sources on them.
Exactly.
And that's how we get the final result.
Yeah.
Okay, well guys, his link for his Instagram will be in the description down below, so make sure you do go and check that out, and the photos for this should be coming shortly. And like that, we are back in the Shmuseum. The GT8 is parked up, back under a cover, as it actually didn't get that grimy on a fairly short drive with Sam while we went to take some photos. He's now headed home, and I'm just going to carry on, get the covers over the rest of the cars. I've already got the Senna covered up because that's obviously nice and clean now. So I think on tomorrow's agenda is going to be trying to get the Ford GT looking just as nice and clean. And that actually also still needs fuel. We never managed to get that done, so we'll have to sort that at some point as well. And obviously we have the Clio going for its annual MOT, so fingers crossed that one goes through without issues. So I'm going to carry on packing up here. Then I think I'm going to head over there, have a quick go on the sim before heading home myself. And we are back. It's the next day here at the Shmuseum, and on today's agenda is to get the Clio off for its MOT, or at least that was the idea. Unfortunately, there's been a major accident nearby which has pretty much gridlocked all of the roads. Hopefully everyone involved is okay, and that's going to get cleared up and resolved as soon as it can. But obviously what that does mean is that we've been unable to take that out, so hopefully that's going to be a job for later on in the week. Now hopefully you guys have enjoyed coming along on another bit of a random adventure, getting some cars cleaned up, getting the headlights done on the Clio, and obviously coming along with Sam for a bit of a photo shoot. So we'll have to wait and see what this week has in store, and of course, like I said at the start of the video, hopefully you guys are still very, very excited off of yesterday's announcement, because we are, and cannot wait for the Zenvo to arrive here at the Shmuseum. So for now guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.